You've been working your butt off for 4 years. You've gotten straight A's in all of your classes. You're looking forward to receiving the sole title of valedictorian. But then you're informed that the class slacker has also attained a perfect 4.0, so you'll be sharing that title. As all of us start to apply for colleges and for scholarships, there's a definite increase in academic competition for like grades and class rank. And with our current unweighted format, this can cause some major problems. And this is why all schools need to convert to a weighted GPA format that is universal for every school district in the country. Because there are major flaws with current unweighted formats and different weighted formats that are like for different schools. And then there are many problems that will entail from having just one format from another. And there are easy ways to fix this, and there's one universal way to fix it. For years, inaccurate portrayals of students' academic achievements have been kind of cheated out with our unweighted GPA format. And this is because our unweighted format does not take class rigor into account when scaling your GPA. And one example of this is in Wendy Solomon's article in the Morning Call, Class Rank, a Problem for Student with Straight A's, posted in 1998. In Parkland High School in Washington, 40 students who were all to attain a 4.0, they would be ranked 1 through 40, depending on alphabetical order. And this I found was just ridiculous. And the valedictorian title, usually, if you were to attain a perfect 4.0, that would usually vault you immediately to that title. But even if you did attain it, you might not even achieve it just because of your last name. And so, kind of to bring it from Washington back here, if there are 25 students in Sartell High School who all attained a perfect 4.0, and Zach Zitter was one of them, he would be 25th because he is the last person in alphabetical order, and I'm sure he would not appreciate that. And so now, this problem is much more spontaneous than we all originally thought. And and one of the most kind of outrageous ones was in top suburban schools, kind of like the more private schools that you have to pay lots of money for. The title of valedictorian, it just kind of gets randomly put out there. If you attain a 4.0, you're gonna get valedictorian. And one of the kind of when they just kind of hand it out to whoever obtains a 4.0. One that we all know of is in 2010 when Matt and Ryan Nahan both achieved the valedictorian title. They both had to share it. But a more extreme situation was in Winnie Hu's article in the New York Times titled "How Many Graduates Does It Take to Be Number One?" In 2010. At Jericho High School in Jericho, New York, 7 valedictorians all attained the perfect 4.0, and they all were titled co-valedictorians. And in Cherry Hill High School in southern New Jersey, there were 9 valedictorians, but only one was selected in a lottery system to give the valedictorian speech, and so that caused major controversy. And also in New Jersey, at Lyons High School, there were 10 valedictorians, and they were all just shared the same title. And so with all of us kind of trying to apply for college credit or scholarships, this can put us at a disadvantage with our unweighted system. And what G.W. Bracey said in his article on Class Rank GPA Grading in the National Association of Secondary School Principals in 2010, just the smallest differences in GPA or class rank cause big problems for many students, which it actually entails what Paulina said in her article on scholarships.com, that the maximum 4.0 is kind of it's unfair for students who actually have to work for their 4.0 and the students who kind of slide by to get it. And so kind of going back to Zach Zitter's situation, if with our class having 200 students and he would be ranked 25, the 25th, in a competition for a scholarship that only accepts kids in the top 10% of their class, and is for $100,000, he would be automatically not accepted into that competition just because he's not in that top 10%, even though he has attained a perfect GPA. And because of this can cause major financial problems for students like Zach, which may cause problems when choosing colleges like a really prestigious private school or a community college. And this is why we absolutely cannot keep our current system in place as it is now, because hypothetical stories like Zach's will just keep popping up everywhere and everywhere. And as Mark Montgomery said in his article on GreatCollegeAdvices.com in 2009, we need to, school administrations need to add value to the A's and 4.0s that students achieve. And so how we would fix this problem is every school, in the country and in certain school districts, need to convert to one universal GPA format, which should be weighted. And how we would do this in Sartell High School would we need to put the problem in the spotlight. We need to show that the problem is relevant now, and that there are situations for some students where they are actually being cheated out. And we propose it to our administration, and then they'd overview it, and then they'd confirm that there is the problem, and then we could convert to one system, and then that could cause a ripple effect. Maybe Sauk Rapids or other surrounding schools would convert, and then that would entail to other countries or other schools across the country. And there would be a very simple installation. It'd really just be rating classes on difficulty. So physics, a more difficult class, would be on a 1.9 scale, as opposed to rec activities, it would just be on a 1.0 scale. So an A in physics, you take, so the 4.0 of an A times that 1.9, you get a 7.6 on your GPA, where if you're going to get an A in rec activities, you just get the regular 4.0. And this would be a much more fair system of ranking students numerically, instead of just if they get a 4.0, then they're all tied for first. And the installation would be very easy. You would, for all the new students, they would just automatically be into that format, and for all the old students, you just take their grades and their GPA, plug it into the formula, and then you'll get your current weighted GPA. And it only makes sense to reward those who actually make the effort, the additional effort to take the hard classes and earn their class rank. And it may inspire the senior sliders to take more difficult classes, so then they have a better chance of being accepted in better colleges. And so there's an obvious problem with our class ranking system as it is today. And with the new system that I proposed, it'll give students who deserve their rightful class rank for taking the more difficult classes, even if they do struggle in them, they don't get perfect grades, and then they'll still be rewarded for taking that extra difficult class instead of sliding by with an easy A. And all schools need to convert to the system, so all students across the country competing for scholarships are on an even playing field. And we need to switch now, or else more stories like Zach Sitter will be prevalent.